Thank you so much for being with us.
Man, welcome.
Year 2 has proven to be a very good year for James Conner. Of course, a few other factors have sort of worked themselves out, but you've gotten some good playing time, and it's been a nice start to the season. What do you accredit your early success to this season?
Just know what to expect. When I had my exit meeting with Coach T, you know, he just said, you're two guys that we need to make a big jump.
Coach T is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
Right, yeah. See, a lot. Mike Tomlin, they talk about him being a player's coach, but since he came into the league, his personal effect on guys day to day is pretty dramatic. We don't see it on TV. We see him get criticized a lot. See, I know this. Yeah, and he has been a father figure, mentor, and everything, right?
Yeah, and he lets you know when you slack in and whatnot, like every day you need to compete. So, yeah, there's no what to expect. You know, there's an expectation, there's a standard there in Pittsburgh. So this offseason, just got ready and, you know, we're starting to show.
Let's stay with Coach Tomlin for a second, just because you referenced him, his resume as far as level of success, never being below 500, the winning seasons, it ranks up against any active coach aside from Bill Belichick, really, who might be the greatest coach ever. Yet, he also is criticized on shows like this as much as almost any coach in the league. What is it like playing for Mike Tomlin?
That's awesome. Coach T, every day, man, he brings energy, and he expects us to compete. And he's just a great person. I wouldn't want to play for nobody else, and I'm just so thankful he drafted me. I feel like we got a special connection from draft night. You know, just how we were talking on the phone. We talked for a while. It wasn't just...
What did he say?
Well, he called, and he was like, man, this is the most excited I've been for a pick in a while. So it was nice for him to hear that. And every day, man, you can talk to him about anything. It's way more than football. He's always asking how people's families are. Good person.
Do you think he sometimes gets unfairly criticized just because, like you and I were talking off camera, there's been a lot of drama within the organization. A lot of that sometimes falls on the head coach. Yeah. Do you think that's fair, unfair?
You know, it's life. You know, fair or not fair, you know, you got to deal with it. Life isn't fair. But I think Coach T handles it well. He's my guy.
Okay, being in the NFL is very, very difficult. Learning, transitioning, great career there at Pitt. So you share a lot of the same facilities as the Pittsburgh Steelers. How much more difficult is it given your situation? Because as a backup player, most of us come into this league, we're drafted fairly high. We come in, we're backing someone up. That player might be a star player. The player in your case is Le'Veon Bell. Because the organization decided to franchise him, you were kind of in limbo. Okay, I'm going to play because he's going to be held out. I'm getting a lot of reps, but I don't know if I'm going to be considered to be a starter. Yeah. Give me some of the people in the organization that have helped support you mentally in trying to be in that kind of gray area, because that's a tough spot for a young player.
Right. The people in the organization is my teammates. All those guys have my back. In the interviews that they get, they believe in me every day, whether they say it on camera or not. Just going through the locker room, and they're like, bro, you run hard, you're the real deal, stuff like that. So as long as I get the respect from my teammates, that's all I care about, really. But coaching staff, everybody believes in me, and it's next man up always.
And also, you have gotten great support from Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
Like, you and him have a great relationship.
Exactly.
Can you explain to our fans and everything your existing relationship with him? How often do you communicate with him and the role that he's played in your development?
Man, anytime I do something good on the field, Le'Veon, I always come back in the locker room from a text from him, you know, saying, good game or that nice move right there. So me and Le'Veon are super cool. He's a great person, and you know, with him holding out, people get to call him selfish and all that, but not the case at all. You know, it's just business, and that's my guy.
Well, so before the season, you mentioned interviews your teammates gave, and when Le'Veon wasn't there for week 1, you heard a lot of the offensive linemen say, man, you guys are going to be impressed by James Conner. We see him. Now, I went on TV the next day, and I said, man, I saw James Conner at Pitt. I understand it's a great story. I also know that last year he had, I think, 150 yards total rushing. He's not Le'Veon Bell. Right. Like, I had no reason to believe you could have this level of production. Yeah. And now I see through 6 weeks, 3 games with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's the list if you want to see it, guys who've done that. Yeah. That's Chris Johnson, Priest Holmes, Sean Alexander, Emmitt Smith, and your name right there. So, like, it's a great list. So you have proven me a fool. Yeah. And so what did you think realistically you could do given your first opportunity to be a full-time starter?
Realistically, I knew what I was capable of. I know the work that I put in, and it was just being patient. I had 150 yards total, but only had 32 carries. So it's like, you know, the work I put in the offseason in training camp, I was taking advantage of those reps. I've always believed in my talents. A lot of things I can do to get better, and I'm excited to work on those things and get better, but I'm not surprised at all. And it's a testament to the guys up front, you know, Marquise Pouncey, Moan Foster, Castro, Al, Gil, all those guys up front, man, they're beasts, and they make it easy.
I would imagine there's someone else that makes it easier for you, and that's Ben Roethlisberger. Yes, you have Coach T's backing, but Ben Roethlisberger's come out in the last, week or two and said how happy he is with your performance and how much he relies on you and how much he's looking forward to folding you in whenever Lev gets back into the offense. How important has he been? What is your relationship like with Big Ben?
It's awesome. My locker is right by his, so I can just pick his brain whenever I want. His is in this corner. I'm right here.
Is his bigger than yours?
Yeah, he has two. He got two.
Sure.
They say it's for mail and shoes and stuff.
But really,
he got it out. He got a whole closet.
Yeah.
But
that's
it's awesome. Anything I'm unsure about, I can just go right there and ask him. On the field, he's a coach on the field about check downs, being in the right spots, being available, blitz pickup. He's right there for anything I need. It's unbelievable to see how he just manages everything. Hall of Famer. It's just awesome to play with him.
Yeah, you have a unique story. It comes with a unique haircut.
Yeah.
Can you kind of give us and the fans kind of some of the reason behind it and some of the meaning of it?
Well, in high school, I had it going all along. It was coming out my helmet. I like the way that looked. I actually trimmed it up a little bit, but I still got a little bit coming out the back. I'm just having fun with it, man.
Okay.
I like the way it looks in the front with the business cut and a little fun in the back.
These last 2 weeks, your season could have gone a different way. Obviously, the first 4 games of the season, nobody expects the Pittsburgh Steelers to be 1-2-1. And then you guys got a Falcons team that's scoring on everybody, and then the team leading your division in Cincinnati. You guys defensively, of course, you scored points against Atlanta, but defensively, the team played great. And then Cincinnati, man, I watched that whole game. Felt like you guys were in control until you weren't. That last drive against Cincinnati, do you feel that could be a fork-in-the-road moment for your season?
Yeah, for sure, but we got Ben. We got number 7 and we got playmakers AB. Minute 18 left. Ben's been in that situation too many times, so it was nothing new to him. And we got playmakers all around. I remember being in the backfield. I heard Ben say, ball's gone. Touchdown. I seen AB's game over, you know what I'm saying? So I knew we had a chance, and, I'm just happy we came out on top.
What are some of the things you see from Antonio Brown, either in practice or when you guys are watching film, that even as a high-level pro athlete yourself wow you?
It's the consistency, the work ethic, everything, the details, the food he eats, how he prepares, leaving practice, going home, working out still. It's just, there's no slacking in this game. Every day, it's his full-time job, and there's no days off for him. So it's just like unbelievable consistency.
Every player that makes it into the NFL, there's only 18,000 people ever played NFL in 99 years. But your story is very, very unique. You talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Explain to people, they're one of the marquee franchise in the league. When you travel on the road, man, it's easy, 20, 30,000 Steelers fans. What is it like to be a part of Steelers Nation?
Steelers Nation is real. It's everywhere. We went out to a kids camp out in Cancun this year, and with Joey Porter was out there. We get off the plane out there, and people in Mexico are coming up to us. It's real, and unbelievable to play for. I don't take it for granted. Every time I put on the black and gold, it's a special, special thing to be a part of. I'm just so thankful I'm a Steeler.
You play with one of the best running backs we've seen in Lev Bell, but is there someone that you've always modeled your game after, that maybe even growing up you've wanted to emulate in some way, your style, your approach to the game, the fierceness, whatever it is? Is there someone that you always kind of keep in the back of your head that you want to play like?
He's actually on that list. I grew up a Cowboys fan. I'm all Steelers now. But now growing up, Emmitt Smith was my guy. I wore 22 growing up in Little League football. But as I get older, I always like guys, LT, LaDainian Thompson, love Marshawn Lynch, love Todd Gurley's game of play. I like to just,
what
Saquon's
do all those guys have in common that you want to sort of craft your game to be like?
I think it's just vision, and vision is the main important thing. Just falling forward, getting extra yards, using blocks the right way, setting them up. It's a craft.
Were you mad they didn't challenge that play? You had a touchdown, man.
Yeah.
You had a touchdown. It's good for.
They didn't replay it in Cincy on the board, and I was like, I think because I tried to twerk my body to get in there and crossed it, but that's
and
on me,
stayed off the ground.
That's on me, though. If I break that tackle and just walk in, I leave no doubt. So
sure, but also that ended up being a critical moment, because I think one of the reasons they don't challenge is, it's 1st and goal from the inch line, we're going to get it. You guys end up settling for 3. That was a lot of coaches in that spot don't challenge there, because we might lose it, we're probably going to punch it in.
We got more downs to go.
You got more downs, but that was a big moment in the game, and you scored. They just missed it.
A lot of times when you're out there on the field, there's a lot going on the field, and as you talked about that spectacular play you made against the Bengals, every once in a while, we daydream. We drift off and look into the stands. Last week, unique situation. You look into the stands, someone has a sign that says, think about it. I know you think about your recovery and the tremendous story, but in that moment, what did it mean to you and how did you react to it?
Very special moment. I can, relate firsthand, and that's why I'm thankful for my situation, because I know firsthand what he's going through. And so no matter how big the moment is, how big the stage is, I know my past, and so for me to go over there and take some time out and take a picture with him, sign up football for him, it's priceless. So I know firsthand what he's going through, and that means everything for me to be able to be inspiration for him.
James, we should mention you were diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2015. Yeah. You are fully healthy now, fully healthy, and I'm sure so appreciative. Yes, indeed. Is there a day that goes by that you don't think about that you don't have to say, oh, I'm so appreciative to be here and now I'm going to go out and play football? Because I watched so many stories and read so many articles, and what was so important to you is, I'm a football player. Right. Like, I wasn't even thinking about saving my life. I was thinking about playing football again. Right. Tell me how you balance the two now.
There's days go by where I think about it, but I'm just always grateful. Some days I'll be on a practice field, I'll just be looking at my helmet and just like, man, I achieved my lifelong dream. Like, I remember being 7 years old, thinking like what it would be like to play in the NFL, and then for everything it took for me to get there, almost tears start to come down because I'm just so thankful. So, but it's business is business though. I can't have time to be, soaking it up and being,
right, you're in the moment.
I'm in the moment, so.
And listen, there's a player in Seattle, Shaq Griffin, that we talked about on the show, that the best part of his story is talking about him not as the guy who made the NFL with only one hand, but as a really good football player, a guy. And I know for you, you don't want to be labeled as just part of a guy that recovered from cancer. However, there's almost at this point a brotherhood, I would imagine, in the NFL of Eric Berry, Andre Howell for the Texans, who's going through it right now and might play. Texans, another guy, David Quisenberry. Like, do you have any relationship with any of the other guys that have a similar lived experience that is so different, obviously, than an ACL or an Achilles recovery?
For sure. It's definitely a brotherhood. We all know what it's like. Eric Berry, Quisenberry. Those are my guys. EB was the first, and I always say I'm thankful for EB for setting the tone. He was always the first. He was the first one that I knew about, and for him to
show everyone it's not a career-ending injury.
Exactly.
I mean, and injury's the wrong word, but that it's not. It's not just about will you survive, but you can. He made an All-Pro team and got the biggest contract for a safety ever post-cancer, and so it kind of set the tone for organizations as well.
It gives hope. It lets people know out there going through that there's life after their situation, and you use adversity to do something great. And so that's why I'm thankful for that adversity.
All right, James. Before we ask you why you're here today, do you have any idea? We don't know either when Lev Bell might be coming back.
No clue.
No idea.
No clue.
He hasn't spoken to you about that.
Not about that. Not about that.
All right. So tell us why you're here this morning.
Well, just in New York. We got a bye week. We're just having fun and, seeing Times